AMS 360, and it's actually not doing anything. Can you try to minimize your AMS 360 for me?
Sure, I had.
Miss Tina?
Yeah.
Okay. Like you stopped sharing, that's fine. Want to minimize your AMS 360?
It is.
Okay. Can you share your screen again, please? Okay. So what you've done is you've shared the window, and I'm going to stop your sharing. And what you want to do, Miss Tina, I know it's very hard. Nobody's giving you very good instructions. But when you say share my screen, it's going to show you a whole bunch of windows. The top left is going to say screen 1, screen 2, and then it's going to start saying window, window, window. You want to pick one of the ones that say screen. That's a great job. You did a fabulous job on that. And she is showing the ImageRight login, and the ImageRight desktop is going to be a checkerboard out here somewhere. If I don't actually see it, but it looks like this one. For some reason, this isn't quite the one, but it looks like this, unless you've changed your icon. Maybe you changed your icon, but it has that checkerboard kind of logo. So has everyone found their checkerboard icon that they can then
Michelle, I think everybody might have already been signed in. I sent out an email earlier today to the team to make sure they're signed in to ImageRight prior to the training. Did everybody have ImageRight up? Yeah, I see nodding of heads. Tina, are you okay sharing?
Sure.
You just got to get signed in.
Okay. So Tina, you're looking good. You just got your password to come up. Okay, that looks like that might not have been your actual password. Do you have another one you could try? So ImageRight, we're going to look at ImageRight today. Sometimes you'll hear us call it WorkSmart. ImageRight and WorkSmart for your purposes are exactly the same thing. They are both the program that is going to house all of the data that would be documents that you would normally file. And if any of you have had experience with paper files in the past, give that a second, see if it comes up. So back in the day when there were paper files, you guys would get things in the mail, or when email came around, you would print out your email, and you would print out your proposals, or you print out information from the carrier sites, and you would put that information in paper files. So back in the old days, you had these paper files, and not everything that pertained to a client went into the paper files. So you might have gotten an invitation maybe to a party that the client was having, or maybe you got some type of advertisement for the client. Maybe they had a new marketing campaign or something. So if you would not have put the information into your paper files, you're not going to put the information into ImageRight. But ImageRight can house a lot of things that do not go into paper files. Like if you have saved voicemails that you can get electronically, those can go into ImageRight, even though they wouldn't have been able to go into a paper file. So you can put more things in ImageRight than you could in the paper files. So the first thing that you're going to, and Lisa, Artina, I don't know if you're just typing in the same password over and over and over. you don't want to be doing that. If you would just stop for a minute and not do that one again, because what's happening is it's going to lock you out. Oh, I think it's coming up. Good job. It did come up. So we're going to cancel on that. I think it was just maybe a little bit slow. And we're going to, you did a great job on that, Tina. We're going to go ahead and line these windows up. So ImageRight actually has two windows, and you can see if you look at Tina's that one of her windows is a little bit small and the other one is kind of like half the size of the monitor. So I'm going to show you a trick to lining up multiple programs on a monitor. And I don't know if you guys have those super big monitors where you have a program that lines them up. You do? You have a program that lines up your windows for you, Tina? Not sure. Yes? No? Maybe?
I think so.
You do. Okay. So what you want to do for ImageRight, and I'm just going to line it up right now. And the way I did that, and again, you can do it however you want, but the way that I did that, and this might be too big for Tina, and Tina, you can change it later, but for those of you who do not have a program where the program will line your windows up, you can always line your windows up yourself. And the way that you do that is you take the window that you want to be on the right side of your screen or whatever, the left. I'm going to say this one should be on the right. And on your keyboard, if you look at your physical keyboard, there is a control key down in the bottom left. And beside that, you may have a function key. And then beside that, you may have a Windows flag button. They refer to that as your Windows key or your Windows flag key. If you take and you press and hold your Windows flag and hit your right arrow, it will automatically line that window up halfway on the right-hand side. And usually what it does then is it will offer with all of your windows, and you can click whichever other one you want to line up on your left-hand side. So if I actually had this window as being maximized and I wanted it to go halfway on the left, I would hit my Windows flag left button and it goes halfway on the left. So that's a little trick for you, and that works with any Windows product as long as it's not inside an Amazon workspace or a Citrix environment. I'm sorry, do we have a question? Whoever ends in 1006 on their phone, did you have a problem?
I don't hear anything. Maybe somebody was just talking. And Michelle, before you go real quick, I just wanted to bring something up to the team, if you don't mind. Just when you guys, just moving forward, when you guys sign into ImageRight, it does take a couple minutes. So if you don't see it pop up right away, just give it some time. Don't just go and reopen it again. It just, for whatever reason, there is a delay on our relation laptops opening up.
I did see that. We did wait for a while, but apparently we didn't wait long enough. So thanks for that tip. So ImageRight, we were talking about it. It does have, it's going to be your electronic paper file. So everything that you would have put in the paper file, you are going to put into ImageRight. ImageRight has two parts to it. It has this part over here, which is called your desktop. And this is going to be where you open the files or you close the files or you work the files. And then over on the left-hand side, we have our viewer. And our viewer is going to be your eyes into your file. It's going to be where you can read the document that you've chosen in the desktop. So WorkSmart is going to do two things for you. The first we've already talked about. It's going to be your electronic filing system. That's item number one. And the second thing that it's going to do for you is it is going to keep track of all of your follow-ups, all of your to-dos, your diaries, your reminders, whatever word you want to use that it's going to keep track of things that are undone. You can use that word. ImageRight calls them tasks. It will refer to them as tasks. Those are going to be your diaries, your follow-ups, your reminders, your open activities, whatever word you want to use to say, this is the things we have to remember. These are the things that we have to keep track of. ImageRight is going to refer to them as tasks. So ImageRight is going to do two things for you, your electronic file and your tasks. Now, when you have ImageRight, there are a variety of ways that you can open a client in ImageRight. Way number one is when you are in your AMS 360, which I think she has taken down her AMS 360. Do you usually open your 360 in Edge or in Google?
Edge.
In Edge. So when you open your AMS 360, and you're on a client, now we are not going to do this feature. We're just going to look at this feature for right now because I don't want to open up your live database. We are going to be in your practice ImageRight, so I don't really want to do anything in your live database. But when you're in AMS 360, I want you to notice a couple of areas in AMS 360. We're not going to hit them today, but next week you can hit them all you want. There's one up here. It says desktop. And there's one down here, and it says WorkSmart. And do you remember earlier when I told you that your ImageRight desktop, another word for it is WorkSmart, and that you may hear ImageRight referred to as WorkSmart? So what would happen in real life if we hit this button, which we're not gonna, or this button, which does exactly the same thing, is it would open this client in ImageRight, and it would sit on this policy in the client. So that's what that would do. We're not going to hit it now because I don't want to actually open up your live data. But what would happen is the client would appear magically in your desktop. Now, if anybody has any questions at all, you can feel free to jump in and interrupt. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. You can also feel free to chat me the question. I'll try to keep my eye on the chat. It's a little hard for me to see it when my laptop's in front of it, but I'll try to keep my eye on the chat. So feel free to jump in or chat me questions if you have any. So we saw one way of opening a client in ImageRight was to click on, I'm sorry, hit the wrong one. Click on one of these buttons, either this one or this one. That is going to open your client in ImageRight. That's way number one. Way number two that we can open a client in ImageRight is what we call the blue present. If I hover on this icon, which looks like a present with a blue bow, you'll see that it says the word open. So if I hover on there, it will open. These icon toolbars that you are seeing here will allow you to do many features that you want to do in ImageRight, and they are the quickest way to get anything done in ImageRight. However, this file menu up here will let you do absolutely everything that you want to do in ImageRight. Every single thing that can be done by the file menu. However, the icon bar is quicker. Notice that when I look at File Open, it's showing me a copy of the blue present. That's telling me that blue present will do that same feature. For those of you who are keyboard shortcut people, you'll see that on the right-hand side of the item, you'll see the keyboard shortcut. So for example, if I wanted to cut something out of ImageRight, I could use the scissors, or I could do Control-Shift-X. And one of the great things about the menu in ImageRight is while you can do everything from it, it's not the quickest way, not the way that I would recommend. It will teach you the icon, and it will also teach you the keyboard shortcut for those people who like to do the keyboard shortcut. So we are all going to try to open a file. So we're going to use, we could do that file open, remember? Or we're going to use the blue present. So we're going to start out by using the blue present. So everybody's going to hit the blue present on their ImageRight. It is going to bring up a window for you. And that window, when it comes up, is going to have a couple tabs on it. So the tab that we're on is File Open. I could get to recent files from here. Oh, somebody new came in. Let me get their name. I think it's just Jenna. Lost her audio. I could get to recent files from here, or I could do a search across the database. So we're going to use this File Open, and that's going to allow us to start to open the files. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is the drawer. At the end of your window, there's a little drop down. So beside the drawer, you can hit the drop down. It's going to show you every drawer that is available to you. Now, right now, every drawer is just a training drawer. You don't have a production drawer. But next week, you're going to have one that says something to indicate that it is your production drawer, probably production SIG and Blaustein. But right now, today, it says training 5 SIG and Blaustein. So we're going to actually pick that training 5 SIG and Blaustein, and that is going to let us into that drawer. The next thing it asks you is, what kind of a file do you want? You don't really need to answer this question. You can leave it on all. But if you want to limit what you're finding to just personal lines, you can put personal lines there. And instead of seeing everything, you will see personal lines. Now, I don't know if you guys remember that when you're in AMS 360, that there is a number assigned to each client. But most people, unless you're Sheldon Cooper, don't remember the numbers of their clients. So what happens is you can just go ahead and ignore that number and skip on to the file name. Now the file name, notice that it's telling us that we're going to put the last name first, followed by the first name. So if I were looking for a particular client, let's say I was looking for somebody with last name started with Smith, I can just type Smith and hit the enter, and it's going to bring up everybody whose last name starts with Smith. When it does that, it's going to put all the results down here in the bottom. And there may be lots and lots and lots. So that's why I hit Smith, because I'm hoping that there's going to be some to be able to show you guys how this is going to work. But we can actually limit how many Smiths that we see. So if you look here, you can see that we're seeing 165 Smiths. And if we look down through here, you can see I've got Michael and I've got Leanne, I've got Diane. If I want to just open somebody, I can just double click on them and it will open. But let's say that I didn't want to see all of these Smiths. Maybe I only wanted to see Smiths that had Michael in their name. If I come back up to the file name and put a wildcard of a percentage sign, I can type a little bit of their first name and hit the enter, and you'll see that now, instead of seeing as many people, that it went a lot quicker. First of all, I hope you noticed that it did go a lot quicker. And secondly, now I've got 3 Smiths. So you can see that they're all different Smiths because you can see their file number is all different. If I'm not sure which Smith that I want to open, I can actually open all 3 by selecting all 3, hitting open, and all 3 will open. So again, let's all try this. This is fun for the whole family. You're going to go ahead and put your training drawer 5 up in your drawer. You can put personal in your file type. Smith % Micah or Michael, however you want to, or even just MICH, whatever you want. Hit the enter, and it's going to find everybody that matches that criteria. Notice this time, because I put MICH, I also got Michelle. And did you notice how much quicker your search comes when you limit it and you don't have it such a wide search? And again, if I do want to open just one, I can double click on that one. If I want to open more, I can select the ones I want to open and then hit the open key, and it will open all of them. And that's going to help me to tell the difference between them. This first Michael, there's absolutely nothing in his file. Nothing at all. Anybody having trouble getting a client open using your Blue Presence? Anyone need help with that? Not seeing any chats. Now, because this Michael has nothing in it, I'm figuring maybe that's not the Michael I want. I can actually close this Michael by using this red present. And notice if I hover on the red present, it says close. So I can close this. Now you'll see this is Michael 797412. As soon as I hit the red present, he is gone. 717412 is now gone, and now all I have is the other two Michaels. This Michael, again, nothing in there, which is kind of weird. Close that one. And this third Michael, nothing in here. So what I should have seen is I should see the policies folders that exist in AMS 360. So if I had opened Stebbins, Gregory M. Stebbins, I should see a folder for each of the policies listed here. Now, when I say policy, I'm not talking about the physical policy that comes from the carrier. I'm referring to this policy, this line header. I would see a folder for this line header. So for every item that's listed here in AMS 360, I will see a folder in ImageRight. Let's see if we can find anything for this guy, Gregory Stebbins. Now, does anybody know if I were looking for Gregory Stebbins, what would I do to get Gregory Stebbins up? You guys can take yourself up on mute and shout out your answer. You can chat your answer. Anybody know how I could get Gregory Stebbins open in ImageRight? Oh, I believe you guys know. You guys are just shy. Nobody?
Blue Present.
Has an idea? Blue Present. Very
Or
good.
from AMS.
So I'm going to Blue Present. Good job. And then in his file name, I'm going to put Stebbins. And I don't even have to do the whole thing. I can just do some of it, percentage, and some of his first name. Good job. So we got Gregory M and Gregory, and I think it was Gregory M. But again, I can double click or open both of them by selecting them both and hitting open. Okay, so your folders are just not showing because Gregory M should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, a lot, right? 20, maybe 10 or 20 different folders, and I'm not seeing anything, which is kind of weird. So what I should be seeing is I should be seeing a year folder for every effective year. Let me explain what that means. This policy is effective in 22. So this policy folder would show in 2022. This one's effective in 21. This one's effective in 21. This one's effective in 21. So I would have a 2021 folder, and inside those folders, I'd have this auto policy, and this auto policy. Then I'm going to show a 2020 folder. And inside that one, I'm going to have these 3 auto policy folders showing. So that's what you would expect to see in real life if you were looking at ImageRight in production. So we've learned to open the file. We've learned to close the files. It doesn't matter what files you guys have open. If you guys have your own personal lines client that you have in AMS 360, so maybe you have your own personal lines account with your SIG company, you can go ahead and open it with your Blue Present. So let's give that a shot. Tina, do you have a
I do.
client? I'll take a peek. Okay.
All
All right. I see you.
Yeah, I'm in there.
You're in there. Okay. Notice that every time I come in here, it's actually a little hard for me to read. If I do that again, if I come out, go back in, notice that my folder, my grid makes it a little bit hard for me to read these people's names. And I keep going in and making it bigger by going between. Oh, cool. Yay, go Vanny, go Lisa, thanks so much. You can make it a little bit bigger by going in between the items and just plain making it bigger. But you'll see that I did that every time and it didn't save, right? ImageRight, I like to think of ImageRight as a big fat elephant. It never forgets, except one thing. ImageRight assumes you don't want grid changes saved. So if you make a grid change, such as making the file name bigger, and that you have to ask for ImageRight to save that. The way that we do it, everybody do your blue present. Go ahead and look up any file name you want. And the way that you do that is your drawer has to be in there and then some of your last name. Do the search and have it come up with some items in the search. Once it's come up, go between the column headings in the heading area, make your file name bigger. And now we're going to ask ImageRight to please save that. The way that we do that is we right-click in the heading area, and we say save the columns. Now you'll notice that if I go back out and search for Stebbings again, in the correct area, and open Plain Gregory, see how the file name was bigger? I didn't have to expand it. And now, ta-da! Thanks, Vanny. Superstar, and you, Vanny, good job for finding that out. She's showing me exactly what I described. That you've got those three, that one private passenger auto for 2022. Under 2021, we have those three folders. Under 2020, we have those three folders. And under 2019, we have the three folders. So everything that's in AMS 360, that is a personal lines policy. So you can see here on, well, you didn't go back to 2018. If you would have had maybe a dwelling fire in here, sometimes dwelling fires are not considered personal, and you would have seen that in the commercial account for him instead of the personal. But we didn't go the whole way back to 2018. That's why you don't see that motorcycle policy. So you're getting to see now how this is going to work. Every time a policy header appears in 360, it looks at the effective date. It will come out and make an effective date folder for that year. And then inside the year, it'll put a folder for the policy. Now, whenever we have something to file regarding this policy, we're going to file it in this folder that the policy is sitting here. So notice right now that there are 0 pages filed in that auto policy. You look at this auto policy, 0 pages. This one, 0 pages. This one, 0 pages. It just means nothing has been filed there yet. So right now, I just wanted to make sure you know how to open a client and close a client. So we learned that in AMS 360, we could hit one of these 2 buttons. We learned that you can use the blue present to open, the red present to close. And lastly, there is something called recent files. If you go up to the file menu, you see how there's something called recent files. It will show you the last 30 clients you had open. So if you frequently open somebody, or you opened them yesterday or the day before, and you want to open them again, you can come up to recent files and just click on their name and they will open again. Now, one last thing I'm going to show you about opening and closing clients, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. We can bookmark clients. So if you've ever used Google browser, Google Chrome, you'll know that you can, if you have sites that you like, you can bookmark them, and then you can go back to those sites at any time, right? You've all done that, I'm sure. In ImageRight, you still have that same concept. So it might not be in your recent files of the last 30 that you were on, but maybe you're in this client a lot. So we can go up to bookmark, and this is fun for the whole family. Everybody have a client open. We're going to try to add a bookmark. You're going to go up to add a bookmark, add, and this does come up for you with the last name first, followed by the first name. If you want to change it somehow, maybe you only call him Greg, you can go ahead and make a little bit of a change to it and okay it. And then that way, whenever you want to open up Greg Stubbings, there he is. And he's in your bookmarks as well. So that's one last method that we have to open clients in ImageRight. Are there any questions about getting a client open, getting a client closed? Now, you can have as many clients open as you wish. However, and I will tell you that in real life, you typically probably will have to have more than one client open, but not in the beginning. In the beginning, until you know what you're doing, try to keep it down to one client. And I'm about to show you why it's important to have just one client open when you get started. Notice that I have Michael Smith open. I can tell I have him open because he's blue over here, and in my navigation or in my information pane, I can see that I have Michael Smith open. If I click on Gregory Stebbins, he is active now. I see his folders and I see his name up here. So Gregory Stebbins is my active client now. That's the client that I'm seeing. If I'm on this one, then I'm on Michael Smith. And you can see the difference. You can see how Michael Smith is different from Gregory Stebbins. I'm about to show you why you only want one client open. The ImageRight desktop, it's important when you're first getting started to only have one client open because ImageRight desktop will automatically switch clients for you if you touch the other client's navigation pane. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I bring up her network drive, and I'm going to bring in a document. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to really bring it in, Tina, so don't be scared. But I'm going to try to bring this document in, and I'm going to try to put it in Michael Smith's file. Watch what happens when I drag from left to right. So this is on the left, this is on the right. Watch what happens when I try to drag from left to right. Did you all see it change the client on me? The reason it changed the client on me was because when I was dragging it over, I crossed over the other client. And as soon as I crossed over the other client, it switched clients on me. So you have two choices. One is that you always drag from right to left. And do you see now that I'm not as likely to cross the other client as I was when I was dragging from left to right? So keeping your ImageRight in the left side of your monitor, the left area, and dragging from right to left. Let me flip the client back. You're less likely to accidentally put it in the wrong client. Way number two, if you only have one client open, you're also less likely. Like there's no way you can switch to the wrong client. Okay? So when you first get started, please make sure that you either have one client open until you're comfortable. And then once you're comfortable, then always drag from right to left. Okay, everybody see that little demonstration to make sure that you're not putting things in the wrong client. If you put things in the wrong client in paper files, it's kind of easy to find it. You look at the one in front of it, you look in the one behind it. In ImageRight, it's much, much harder to find something if you filed it into the wrong client. You have to do searches across the database for what you named the file. If you name the file something like policy, millions of them, you're not going to find it. Now this, this is a much more distinctive, so we'd probably have an easier time finding it, but no, just try to keep it to one file open until you're comfortable, and then after that, drag from right to left. Okay, so we've learned to open it up. We have learned that you can close the client, open the client back up with your recent files, or you can even, if you forget to go to recent files, you can hit your blue present and then flip to recent files. Open your client back up. Again, I can double click him, he'll open. All of those are ways for us to open clients. This area is called the navigation pane. The reason for this is because our marked pages and our tasks are going to be shown in here. This area is your information pane. You can control a little bit of what information is in here. And this area is called our file tree. This is where we see our folders. This is where we're eventually going to see our documents that we put in there. Before we do that, though, I'd like to get our toolbars in a little better shape than they're in right now. So I want you to notice that your toolbars have little dots, these 4 little dots. And if you come over after the orange circles, you're going to see these dots here. And if I grab a hold of these dots, I can move this anywhere I want, right? I can put it anywhere at all I want to put it. But that's dangerous, because what happens is if you grab it accidentally, your toolbar may run away, and then you're going to have to rebuild it. So I would like everyone to grab your toolbar after the orange dot one and drag it down to the beginning of your second row. If you go further than your second row, it will come off the program. So you want it to be close to the edge, but not over the edge. Everybody go ahead. Do you guys know how to give me a green check when you have your toolbar fixed? Green check, please. So what you need to do is go to your participants, and I think there's a reaction. You can also give me a green check, thumbs up, anything like that. You guys know how to do that? I'm not getting any reactions. There's a little word reactions. Now, there we go. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Vanny. How's everybody else doing? You getting your toolbar set? All right, I'm just going to give it like another 30 seconds. We're not seeing a lot of reactions, but let me know if you're having a problem. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Lisa.
Everybody, at the very bottom of your Zoom window is where you have your reactions to click on.
Welcome, Janessa.
Thank you.
Janessa was actually in the commercial training. I'm not sure how her invite got mixed up, and I just realized she wasn't on, so I reached out, and she was in with the commercial session, so told her to jump in.
Cool. It's okay. I'm sure she was learning the exact same stuff, because there's nothing different to learn so far from what they've learned to what we've learned. Okay, so now that everybody hopefully has that there, if you do need help, please chat me that you need help. Otherwise, we're going to assume everybody's got it. Once you do have it ready to go, what you're going to do is you're going to take your mouse anywhere in the blue area. You're going to right click and lock your toolbars. So your toolbars cannot run away. So once you have locked them, the 4 dots that we were just working with will be gone and your toolbars will not run away. So everybody go ahead and lock your toolbars. Again, all we did was right click anywhere in the blue area. Once they are locked and they have the orange check, do not hit it again. It will unlock them. Locking is a toggle. It's on or off. Now that we've got them the way that we want them, we're going to add a couple tools, which are very important tools that you need in life. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to right click anywhere in the blue area. That pop-up's going to come up again, but this time we're going to choose Customize. Right click anywhere in the blue area at all, and we're going to pick Customize. It's going to bring up a little window. Let me know if you're having trouble doing that. Having trouble finding your customized window. Look on the chat. You can also, just take yourself off on mute and yell. That's fine too. I'll fix you. Otherwise, I'm going to assume everybody's getting their Customize up. Anywhere in the blue area, right click and Customize. Mine is stuck on the top of my screen. Okay, Justin, I'm going to stop sharing. Would you go ahead and share your screen? Let me take a peek at it.
And
Thank you for letting me know, Justin.
no problem. How do I share?
Do you see all of our faces?
Yep.
At the very bottom of that window, there's green share screen.
Ah,
And then you're going to pick either one of the ones that say screen 1 or screen 2.
it would be screen 2. Boom, share. Mine's stuck right here.
Okay, I'm not seeing your ImageRight at all. Did you want the other screen?
Yeah.
I'm going to stop your sharing. Give that another shot one more
Okay.
time.
But it's actually stuck on the other page.
Right. And you can't drag it over? Can you grab
Yeah, I'm
it,
trying
grab it
to,
like
but
this?
oh, there we go. Okay. Now I think I have it. Nope.
Is it better?
It's like it won't
Because I can't
drag.
see
It's
that
like it
it's
won't
better.
drag for some reason. Oop,
I'm asking for remote control. Would you mind agreeing
Sure.
to it?
sure. There you go.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, so your toolbars are missing. Let me see if I can get them back. Whoa, what happened? Did it close or is it just on the
No,
other
it's
window?
on my second screen. That's why. Now it did.
All right, I'm going to stop you sharing. Go ahead and share again the window where it's at.
Where is it? Let me pull it up
You are
first.
getting to be an expert in sharing.
Oh, screen 2, yes.
Beautiful. That looks beautiful. Thank you so much. Great. Thank you, Justin. All right. So let's go ahead and put this back together where it belongs. Hello? Hello? Kind of ignoring me a little bit. I will not be denied. I don't know why it, there we go. Okay. So let me go ahead and take this back where it belongs, and I'm going to lock your toolbars. Now I'm going to customize for you. There we go. You look great, Justin. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just keep working on Justin's machine if it's okay with you, Justin.
Yep.
Tina, you're going to have to pick up your mouse and start working your machine, okay? Do you have your customized box up, Tina, still?
I believe
See it?
so.
Beautiful. So once you're on your customized box, just like Justin is, you notice that there's 3 tabs to it. We want to hit the middle tab, which says Commands. So everybody wants to hit the middle tab on their customized box. Anybody having trouble getting a middle tab on your customized box? Not seeing any chat. And do you remember how we saw the words recent files under our file menu? So if we come over on the left under our file menu, we can see all the items that were listed on the file menu in this area. And if we scroll almost all the way down to the bottom, we'll see the words recent files. Now I'm going to demonstrate this if you guys want to just watch for right now. I'm just going to demonstrate it and then I'll do it again with you. So I'm at file on the left. I'm come down to recent files on the right. I find the words recent files and I'm going to grab a hold of it with my mouse. I'm going to hold my left mouse down, and as I hold it down, notice that I have an X, but if I keep going up between the red and the blue presents, eventually I'll lose the X and I'll get an I-beam. And when I have the I-beam, I'm just going to let it go, and then my recent files is going to be up there. I'm going to do that one more time for everybody. Again, I find the recent files. Got my file on the left. I scroll almost the whole way down. I find the words recent files. I drag it up between the red and the blue present until I have an I-beam, let it go. And now recent files has been added to my toolbar. Everybody give that a shot. You're dragging the words recent files between your red and blue present. When you have your I-beam, let it go. If you're having a problem, yell it out or chat it. Going to take a 5-minute break in a second, but we're going to try one more thing before our break. Not seeing any problems. Tina, not working for you?
Or do I drop it?
Drop it between the red and the blue presents in your toolbar. See your toolbar up here with the blue present and the red present that we've been using? Drop it right there. So again, you just grab it, you drag it. When you get an I-beam between your red and blue present, let it go. Kathy, is that working for you? I saw you shake your head a little bit. Good. All right, good. Okay, so we now have blue present, recent files, red present. We're going to try something that's a little bit touchier, and then we'll take a break so that if it doesn't work for people, they have time to reboot. You're going to come down to the word task on the left-hand side, task. You're going to scroll almost the whole way to the bottom. We're looking for the words set, task, attributes. Again, on the left, we've chosen task. On the right, we're chosen set, task, attributes. And I'm going to take it to the beginning of the second row. When I get it to the beginning of the second row, I get an I-beam there. I'm going to let it go. Beginning of the second row. Should be a green check with 2 tiny red checks beside it. Now, here comes the hard part. Do you see how I have black around my tool? I'm going to stay inside my border, right-click, and hit image and text. I'm inside my border, I right-click, hit the pop-up menu, and I hit image and text. If your window is just swirling, your computer needs rebooted. And then what should happen then is you should see that tool change to say set task attributes. Right now it's real pale gray, but when it's activated, it will be dark. Anybody need help with that? Need help, Kathy? All right, Kathy, I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna let you share. Okay, I'm gonna ask for control. So you're gonna go ahead and grant it for me, Kathy. Beautiful. I'm gonna grab that set task attributes. I'm gonna drag it to the beginning of the second row, let it go. Right click inside of it. Oh, I can't see it. Hold on 1 second. Your thing is too big. There we go. See if that's better. Okay. Weirdly, I'm not sure why it's not offering you the other menu. Where's your other, do you have another window somewhere, Kathy? Your viewer window, is it showing, is it on the other screen? I'm not seeing it. Is it on your other monitor? You're
No,
missing your other window. All right, I'm just gonna shut it down and reopen it. You should be getting a message, there we go. And then go ahead and start it again. Okay, I see a couple other people are having trouble in chat. We'll get to you. Did it start up again, Kathy?
yeah.
All right, Kathy, I'm gonna stop sharing for you. When you get your program up, can you bring it onto this window? And there should be two screens. Okay, so there's one screen. Do you see the other screen to it?
Yes.
Can you bring that over? Now you took them both away. I need the two screens on this one.
Here, I'm looking at it. So I don't know how to,
It's on your other window. I'm on this window.
all right, let me try.
There you go. There's one. No, we don't want it big like that. Where's the other one, Kathy? Should be another piece to it. One that says viewer. Do you see it?
Yeah, I'm trying to grab it.
There you go. Good job. All right. Good job, Kathy. Okay. Come on. All right. Nice. There you go. Okay. You're good.
Thank you.
Donna, do you want to share next?
Sure.
Hey, Elaine, while Donna's sharing her screen, I got a question. When you do that, if
Sure.
it closes out of ImageRight, does that mean you have to reboot your computer completely?
Yep. And it's just this one time. It's not every time. This will, once we get this done, it'll be done. But yeah, you need to reboot your computer.
Do you want me to share my screen?
Please, Miss Donna.
This one?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's not right.
Nope, that's right. That's exactly right.
Oh.
Okay, now where's your other piece? Do you see your other piece? Okay, Miss Tina, your computer needs rebooted. Where's your other, do you know where your other monitor, your window is? You should have another window that goes with this. It says viewer. Do you see? Here it is. I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay. So it looked like Donna's window was kind of pushed down. And I love the fact that that was like that because it reminds me to tell you guys that a lot of people don't like this viewer window when they first get started. And they think about it, it annoys them. And so they want to get rid of it. So Donna's was pushed way down. And a lot of people do that with this viewer window. I want you to think of the viewer window the way you think of your spouse. Like sometimes the spouse is super annoying, but just ignore them when they're being annoying. And then they'll be there when you want it there. So
I already had that up there.
the way that it, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. Leave it the way that it is. You leave this window with this, your two pieces that go together. Just go ahead and leave them there for right now. Just ignore it if it's bothering you. And I need Jenna to share. Jenna, can you share your screen, please? Jenna Bergeron. Are you still there, Jenna? I don't see her anymore. Oh, there she is. I see her. Jenna, can you share your screen, please? Beautiful. Thanks, Jenna. Good job. Okay. So, Jenna, I think you shared your window instead of your screen, but I'm going to be okay with that because I'm just going to fix this. Okay, so and your screen is not half the screen. You've only got like one of these instead of both of them. That's what's causing your issue. Do you know where, here's your other one. Your other one's pushed down here again too. There we go. So you need both of these pieces. There you go, girl. Okay, anybody else need help? Anyone else need help? I'm not seeing any chats with anybody else having a problem. Tina, we're not going to be able to do yours until your computer reboots. If you don't want to reboot until tonight, that's fine. Just remind me tomorrow to fix you tomorrow. Okay, it's 12 after the hour. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. We'll come back at 17 after the hour and we'll keep going.
Let's go, Jen.
You guys. Once you go into production, you should add a tool for every tool that you use frequently. And there's about 8 or 10 tools that you'll use all the time. It includes things like create a task, find an item, close multiple files, maybe even folder notes. There's a bunch of tools that you'll use a lot. And so you should probably add those tools to your production toolbar when you go into production. And Lisa, if you're interested, I can send you a list of ones I recommend.
That would be wonderful.
Really short. Okay, we're on really short time crunch today. So typically I would normally add everyone, but there's just not a lot of time today. So I'm not gonna. Okay. Let's go ahead and start putting some files in. Okay, who wants to share their
Hey,
screen?
Elaine.
Tina, do you want to share yours? Yeah.
Elaine, can I ask something before we get moving
Yeah.
on to that? For some reason, why, when we added those, when we customized and we added those things, what would cause them not to stick and save?
So there's a couple things that can cause them not to stay. One of them is if your administrator has set a default toolbar and has said to constantly reset to the default toolbar. They shouldn't be doing that, but I have seen some people do it. So what happens then is every time you close ImageRight, it resets to their default toolbar.
So how do you
if that's
override
what's
that?
happening, your administrator has pushed that out. They need to change it to not push that out.
Is there anybody else on the call having that same situation, or is it just me?
Tina's shaking her head, yes.
She is.
Justin's shaking his head, no. So I don't
So
know.
Justin, when you log out of ImageRight, you went back in, everything that you just did saved.
Let me see. Let me try. Log out. Yes. Let's go.
Yeah,
back.
I got booted out on the last change, and when I went to log back in, none of the changes that Elaine did were there.
Let's check.
And that's the same that happened for me, and that's why I'm curious if there's anybody else experiencing that same thing. And I had to reboot, and even when I went back in and rebooted, everything was lost.
Okay. So you need to let Gloria know that your changes are reverting. And it may just be the training database that's doing that. Production might not do it, but it never hurts to ask the question.
Well, we're in our ImageRight is not a training database though, so it should save, correct?
We're in the training database. We're in the training drawer.
Okay, maybe that's why. I'll reach out to Gloria and ask.
I know what you're saying. You're saying you're in the master database.
No, the master ImageRight, we're not, the training database is the AMS, but ImageRight is the one that we have on our computers. So you would think that would save.
Tracy, you can just sit there. It's fine.
Mine looked like they did save.
Saved. Okay.
Maybe because she did it. I don't know. I mean, because
Yeah,
Elaine did it.
I don't have any magic.
That's okay. I'll reach, I don't want to hold everybody else up. I'll reach out to Gloria and just let her know we're having issues with that and just to see if it will be different when we go live.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm sharing your, right now I'm currently sharing your file structure. Can everybody see a file structure on my computer?
Yes.
Okay, so the way that this works is even though this is in columns and multiple pages, think of it as one big long column. So it's just one big long one. So even though it's chopped up into multiples, this policy term year goes immediately underneath this. And it keeps coming down this way. And then this endorsement comes immediately under that replacement cost estimator. So if you think of it as one big column, it'll be what you see when you're in ImageRight. Everything that is in this area either pertains to the file as a whole, regardless of year, or they don't want you to have to worry about what year something happened, and so they're putting it up here, so it's always above the years. Once you get down to here, you start in the individual years. Now, I'm going to ask a knowledge question. This is something we went over. Is this year, and we talked about it a couple times, so don't worry if you don't remember, but is this year referring to the effective date year or the expiration date year of the policy? What is this year referring to? The effective date year or the expiration date year? You can shout out the answer. You can chat it. What is this year referring to? Effective date year or expiration date year?
Effective date year.
Yes, superstar. Yes, effective date year. It looks at the effective date year and that's what it's pulling. Anything that's effective in this year, it will show these policies. And these are the policy folders that we talked about from AMS 360. Now, everything between the year and where the policy folders start is either stuff that happened before you wrote the policy, or it could be stuff that happened to multiple policies. So this is all things that happened before we wrote the policy. Once you get down here, this is where the policy starts. Everything in here is pertaining to this policy specifically. And again, like I said, this immediately goes here. Now, once you finish with the policies, then it starts the claims. And the claims are filed by date of loss year. So everything that was a date of loss in this year will be filed underneath that year. A specific claim, or it can be a general claim. Underneath that is the archive. The archive is the converted documents that they brought over from your old system. And typically they will also be in year and then the documents inside the years. And depending on what system you converted from, these may look a little bit different. If you have a system that categorized it, it'll be the year, then the category, then the document. If you don't have that kind of a system, then it'll just be the year and then each document by created, I think it's created on date. And these will all be in the archive at the bottom. So any document that you're looking for that was created in your old system, you're going to look for in the archive. It will not be up here. So if we think about Stebbins, remember Stebbins had those 2022 policies, the 2021 policies, and he had those policy folders, those auto folders. Any documents from your old system will not be in those auto folders, automobile folders, won't be there. It's going to be way down here in the archive. You have the ability to move or copy the archive data and put it where it belongs. I recommend that you don't do that unless you're looking for something. If you're looking for an old document because you need it, and you're probably, if you need it once, you're probably going to need it again. At that point, copy. I like to keep my archives pure, so I like to copy it out of here and paste it where it belongs. But don't go down there. Some people have OCD and they want to get down and file everything. Don't do that. Fight the urge, people. Fight the urge, because you're already going to be backed up because you're learning a new system. Do not put more work on yourself. Those archive data documents will be just fine down at the bottom. Leave them alone unless you're going looking for something. Any questions on that? All right, so when we're going to file something, the way that you file it is you look for what it is you're filing as a blue icon. You guys, Lisa, does everybody have this document?
No, we do not. But I'm going to speak just high level at this for everybody on the call, just so you know. This is Vertifor's training of the file drawer. There have been a lot of changes and have actually cleaned it up a bit for per relations select agents. So this is not as busy as what you currently see. But Elaine is training to what the training they have as far as, you know, the Vertifor side of it. But no, we do not have this document, Elaine.
Okay, so Lisa, I'm not exactly sure what you meant. I think I heard you saying this is Vertifor's document for how Vertifor does it. It is not. This is the document Relation gave us.
But there's been some other changes from my understanding to all of this here. And maybe these are the recent ones, but they've actually rearrange, I don't want to say rearrange, but made it not as many options. They've done a little bit of cleanup on this. Yeah, since May.
Okay. So if they did some cleanup since May, you can get the new one. But this is the one that they gave me as being like the one that Relation gave them. So the way that you do it, and you're still going to do it the same way, and thank you, Lisa, for that information. You're still going to do it the same way. You're going to look for what it is that you want to file, and you're going to look for it as a blue icon. So if I'm looking to file a fee agreement, there may be more than one fee agreement. Like in this case, you can see there's one here and there's one here. The reason there's one here, it appears that they're going to take all the older fee agreements and put it in a folder called Archive. And the current fee agreement is going to be here under the Relation Finance Team folder. So the way that you do it is you look to see what folder it's filed on. So I would say this is the current active one, and this is going to be filed inside the Relation Finance Team. This is the older one, and it's going to be filed in the Archive. So let's test you guys. If I were going to file an agent or broker of record document, where I got the broker of record from my client, what folder am I going to file that in? Broker of record letter from the client. What folder am I going to file that in? Permanent file. Yes, I'm filing it at perfect. Everybody actually got it right. I'm filing it in the permanent file folder. Now, Miss Jenna said I'm going to choose the type AOR, BOR, and she is correct. I am going to choose that type, but I'm going to file it in the permanent file. So good job, everybody. Good job. Oh, and Miss Donna did it all. Good job, Miss Donna. You got all the answers. Okay, so I'm going to file that in the permanent file. Now, if I were going to file a, let's see. An actual policy that I got for a particular policy. What folder does that go in? I'm going to file an actual policy itself. What folder does that go in? Actual policy. Good job. Good job, Miss Donna. Giving you a superstar. You're on fire. Good job, Jenna. Yeah, the policy is going to be filed in the policy POI forms folder under the actual policy listing itself. That's exactly right. So this is what you're going to use this document for. You're going to say, this is what I have to file. I've got auto ID cards to file. Where do they go? Or I've got a carrier underwriting notice to file. Where does it go? And that's how you use this file structure. Now, the important thing about the file structure is not whether you agree with it, but that everybody does it the exact same way. So that if Justin is filing a BOR, I know exactly where he put it. And if Tina's filing a BOR for another client, I know exactly where she put it. So I don't have to go on an Easter egg hunt looking for stuff because everybody's going to file it in the exact same folder. Any questions about how we use this document? Sometimes you're going to find things maybe in more than one place. So for example, I have a quote up here. I also have a quote here. And I have a quote down here. You should understand the difference of what these are about. This is a quote on an endorsement on a current active policy that's in effect. So maybe the client calls and says, what if I increase my coverage A to blah, blah, blah? What would that be? That policy is in effect, so you're going to put that down in an endorsement quote. These ones up here, this is a quote on a piece of new business. This is a quote on a renewal or rewrite. Does everybody understand the difference of where you file those and how those three are different? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let somebody else share. Tina, would you share for us again, please?
Mine had shut down again, so I didn't bring it back up. Hold on.
Okay, if you would mind bringing it back up. Everybody should have their ImageRight back up. We're going to learn to file some things. So once everybody has it brought up, we do need you guys to have your own particular individual file. So if everybody would bring up their own client, please, and not everybody bring up Jeffrey Stebbins. So if you would bring up Tina, would bring up Tina Laporte, Wendy, if you would bring up Wendy Ortez, Linda, if you bring up Linda Dawson. If you do not write your own personal lines, then choose your favorite client and bring them up. Tina, once you get your client up, if you would mind sharing your screen. I'm busy. Tina, is it coming up for you, baby?
Yeah, stuck on 20 seconds.
Okay. Go ahead and share your window while you're waiting. Share your screen, excuse me. Share your screen, not your window.
We're up to 9
Okay.
seconds.
So everybody should be doing a blue present to bring up their client. Remember, you're picking training drawer 5. Tina, would you prefer to drive? Learn better
No,
when
you
you're
can.
driving?
Okay, you're good.
Okay. So yeah, it looks like you did lose everything. Gonna put it back and lock it. There it is. Beautiful. So Tina actually has her folders, and notice that she doesn't have every folder. She only has year folders for however many years of policies that came over, and she also has a folder for each policy that she has in AMS 360. So remember that we put the BOR document in the permanent file folder. Do you guys remember we talked about that a second ago? But she doesn't have a permanent file folder. The way that ImageRight works is when you come in day one, you only have folders for the years for the policies inside the years, and then for the archive. And that's all you get day one out of the box, okay? You don't get any other folders. So when you're bringing something in, if you don't have the folder that you need to bring it to, you can always bring it to what we call the file level. And this little blue, this first line that says the word file at the beginning is the file level. So we're going to bring in an email. Tina, is it okay if I bring up your email?
Absolutely.
Okay. And in real life, I would be putting this on the right side of my monitor over here. But because this is class and I don't have two monitors, I'm going to put it on the left side so I can drag it in. But don't do this in real life. You're going to drag this way, remember? So we're going to go ahead and grab a document. I'm going to grab this one from Lisa Lingle, and we're going to file it. I'm going to demonstrate the way that you file this, and then after I demonstrate, everybody can try it themselves. So the way I do it is I grab this document that I want to file. I'm going to pretend this is my BOR from my client, and I drag it. Remember, so we said we're going to drag it to the file level. Notice that when I drag it, until I get over to this area, I've got a Ghostbuster. As soon as I get in this area, I have 3 arrows. See how I have a fat arrow, skinny elbow arrow, another skinny elbow arrow, goes up. Wait a minute, see if I can get it. I've got a skinny elbow, that's a skinny elbow down and a skinny elbow up. You see it? There's 3 of them. You guys always want to use the fat. You always use the fat arrow. It works the best for what you're working with. The fat arrow is automatically going to put it where we want it. So we're all going to go ahead and we're going to grab an email. We're going to drag it to our file level. Notice how I'm pointing to that file level with a fat arrow, and then I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let you do that, Tina, and everybody else, go ahead and do that yourself. Bring an email in, grab it, drag it over to the file level, point with a fat arrow, and let it go. Once you let it go, it will bring up an interactive menu of choices. That come on the other window? There you go. Good job. Okay, so right now, you can't really read the email, but I'll change that in a minute. But it's showing the email that you're about to bring in. Notice that it has an extra little ping over here, which is your SIG. I don't really need that, so I'm just going to delete that. So again, when I click on that extra ping, which I don't need, I can go ahead and delete that by hitting the red X. I'm going to wait till everybody catches up. When you drag and let your item go, you're going to have this window. It's going to have 4 choices in it. First choice is going to say preview. If you have any pings, come down on the right, click on the ping, and hit the delete button. Don't want any of those pings. In a little bit, we'll fix that so they won't come in separate, but right now they do. Once I get the ping deleted, I'm going to come down to the bottom and I'm going to uncheck split the PDF. Once you do this one time, it will remember that's the way you like it on the checkboxes. Not deleting the pings, but the checkboxes. We'll fix the pings, I promise. So you want to make sure that your ping is gone, your checkbox is checked. Then we're going to come up here to this import into. And we're on the preview menu. I'm going to move to the import into screen. Once we're on this screen, we're going to come down and we're going to check off place at the beginning. Again, we're going to do this one time and this computer will remember that's the way we like it. ImageRight is a big old fat elephant that never forgets. If you put something in ImageRight, it's always going to be there. Even if you delete it, it will go in the client's recycle bin and you can get it back at any time. Now that I'm in here, I've got my place at the beginning checked. Notice that I have that file tree that I showed you earlier, that one big long line, remember how I told you think of it as one column? And it is in here, that one column in here. See how it matches exactly what we saw in the file structure? And it looks like so far it kind of is matching. Now, I want you to notice that I see colors in here. And I'm seeing yellow folders, and I'm seeing blue squares with a white t-shirt. The reason that some of the folders have the blue squares with the t-shirt is because they don't exist. Notice that these 3 years which exist don't have that icon on. That icon is not a t-shirt, it's a tornado. And the point of it is to tell you that it's going to whip you up a new folder. If you pick this, you will get a new folder whipped up for you. I want you to also to notice your import button down here. See how it's broken? Not working? There's only one thing that makes this import button activated, and that is being on a blue document type. So if we're putting in that agent broker of record blue type that we picked in our file structure, notice how until I'm clicked on it, my import button is broken. But once I'm picked on an all blue level, see there's no yellow on that level, it's all blue, then my import button works. I'm not going to hit my import button, but it does work. See how if I'm not on an all blue level, it doesn't work? When I am on an all blue level, it works. I say, if it ain't blue, you can't do. So if you're wondering, why is my import button broken? You're not on an all blue level. If it ain't blue, you can't do. Remember how Donna told us we're picking that AOR, BOR? That's what we're picking. As soon as it goes blue, we have the button, but we're not going to hit it yet, but we have it. The next checkbox says, remember this selection always. You will never hit that. That's for people in insurance companies that do like loss runs all day long. So they always want it to go in the loss run type. We're not doing that. You guys are going to pick something different every time you come in. So leave that one alone. If you notice that yours always start coming in as the same kind, somebody hit that button and just uncheck it. The document date is the effective date of what you're doing. I don't want you to think of document date. I want you to think effective date. So if it's a BOR, what's the effective date of the BOR? If it's a policy, what's the effective date of the policy? If it's an endorsement, what's the effective date of the endorsement? If it's a cancellation, what's the effective date of the cancellation? Okay, so we're going to come down to the document date and we're going to change it to July 1st. You can either type it or you can drop your calendar down and pick it off the calendar, your choice. I happen to see the receive date right now that's coming off of the email. What date the email was received? In real life, a lot of times you don't even see this, and that's okay. We're just going to skip it. Your document description is going to be the overall job that you're doing, document that you're filing. What is this? And so I'm going to say this was my BOR. Maybe it was just for the umbrella. So I'm going to put BOR for the umbrella. This document description is very important because later on when you're searching for this document, these are the words that you can search for using your binoculars, your find procedure. So ask yourself, if I were going to look for this later, is there another word I need to put in there that I would look for? And then add whatever word it is to this. Your page description, I don't worry about that except in 2 instances that we'll talk about later. I'm going to always make sure this create test box is not checked. if I do want a follow-up, I'm going to do it at the top. Is there any questions about anything that we've done so far before I hit the import? Not seeing any kind of chat. Everybody got this in? We're going to go ahead and import it. Now, notice that when my email comes in, I can actually read it in this viewer screen while I'm coming up here. Now, I can't actually view it, and I want to view it. So I'm going to change my settings so that I can see it all the time. I don't want to have to hit preview. I can, but I don't want to have to. So we're going to come up over here on the right-hand side in the desktop, and we're going to hit options. I know, Justin, I know, it's riveting. We're going to hit options. And then desktop settings. Oh dear, we're having a bad electrical storm. Options, desktop settings. Another window is going to come up. Everybody get this window. Kathy? Kathy Smith, you okay? All right, we're going to come down under File Navigator. Let's see. File tree options. File tree options. File tree options. Now this is up to you, but typically PL does not like to split, so we're going to uncheck split. That's in the File tree options on the left, split PDFs on the right. Going to uncheck split PDFs. If you happen to like split PDFs, you can come back and change it later. We're also going to uncheck import email attachments separately into the file tree. Again, if these two, we're going to uncheck them. If you like this later on, you can check it back. Most PL people don't, but hey, you do you, right? We're going to uncheck these two on the file tree options, these two, and then we're going to say apply. The apply button is down the bottom right. Then we're going to come over on the left, and there's only one plus kind of hanging out here, so we're going to hit it. And when we plus it, there's going to be a viewer option show. And we're going to click on viewer options. So we hit the plus here for miscellaneous options, and then we chose viewer options. Again, plus the miscellaneous options, pick the viewer options. You're going to check off Microsoft Outlook. Check it off. Miscellaneous options, viewer options, check off MS Outlook, and then say OK. Now, when you do that, if you click down lower in your tree and then back up on your document, you should just be able to read it. That just resets. That just reset it for you. So now ImageRight knows you like it like that. And every time you come into an email, you will just be, excuse me, just be able to read it. Any questions on that? So we see our document over here, and we can read it over here. Now, we can bring in emails all day long. We can also bring in documents from the network drive. Let's go out to our network drive, and let's find a PDF. Any PDF. We're going to pretend that this PDF is a fee agreement. And our fee agreements belonged under the Relation Finance Team folder. So I don't have a Relation Finance Team folder over here. So where do you think I could drag this document, this fee agreement document, so that I can put it in this account? Where do you think I should drag it to? I don't have the folder I need. Anybody? Where can I drag it to when I don't have the folder I need? The file tree level. Very good. So Miss Tina, I'm going to let you go ahead and drag that over to the file level. Let it go. And this is fun for the whole family. Everybody's going to drag a PDF over to your file level and let it go. Whenever you drag something to a yellow folder level or a file level, always brings up our import into window. Was that really big? Or was that a real file?
Yeah. Application.
No, there's something wrong with that. It's not there.
Oh, I know.
Can you bring one over that exists? It looks like that one doesn't really exist.
Yep. I cleaned it all out the other day or last week.
There you go. There we go. All right. So now we have our preview of our document that's going to go in there. Anybody remember what tab I hit to get this document into the system? Anybody remember what I do? Shout it out, Tina, if you know.
Import info.
Import info.
Import into.
Import into. Very good. Import into. So we're going to click on the import into. Remember how I said that it would remember that check, and it did remember. We didn't like that check. It did remember this check. And now notice that my permanent file doesn't have the tornado on it, but it exists. But now we can open up that Relation Finance Team. My import button is broken because it's not on an all blue level. So I have to say fee agreement. And now my import button looks better. So my document date, what do I think of when I see the words document date?
Effective date.
Effective date. What's the effective date of my fee agreement? You pick a date that you want. What words do I want to say for my fee agreement that I can look for this later? I don't know. Maybe it's my fee agreement on my umbrella. Again, I only worry about page description in certain circumstances that we'll talk about in a minute. I make sure my create task is not checked. If I do want a task, I'm going to do it up here. And I'm going to say import. Notice that it whipped up that folder for me, created that document for me, and I can see the document over here. This document only has one page. Oh, it has 4 pages. It only has 4 pages. I need this to be wide enough that I can see how many pages it has. Oh, stop. I hit the wrong, I'm sorry, I brought the wrong one over. If this is too narrow, that I can't see how many pages it has, and I have no way to understand that there's more than one page. Notice that when it's super skinny, I can no longer see how many pages it has. I need to be able to see how many pages there are. So my window needs to be at least wide enough to see that. And if I want to go from page to page, that's how I do it. So we brought in a document that's an email. We brought in a document that is a PDF. And we also can bring in Word and Excel documents. So let's say that you guys are doing a proposal. Let's all open up Word, the whole family. Going to open up Word. We're going to type up a proposal. So we're going to open Word, and we're just going to type the word proposal in here. And that's it. Once you have Word open and proposal typed in here, you now have the ability to bring this document into ImageRight. I don't even ever have to save it as a Word document. I can just bring it right into ImageRight. And here's how. Did everybody get Word up and their proposal typed? Okay, once you have your Word doc up ready to go, notice that you have the word ImageRight at the top of your Word document. ImageRight's in here. When I hit ImageRight, it asks me if I want to bring it in as a native or a PDF. You guys know what a PDF is. We just brought one in. You can't use Word to type in a PDF. So if you want this to stay a Word document, you need to bring it in as native. So let's all give that a try. We're going to hit ImageRight, and we're going to hit Native Import. Come on, baby. Notice that it comes up my Import Into window. Let's say that this is my proposal. I'm going to look at your file structure real quick and see where your proposals belong. Your proposals belong under your Marketing New Business folder. So, and that's underneath the policy year. We're going to come into your Import Into window. Please tell me if I am going too fast. Stop me. Nobody left behind. So notice again that my years do not have a tornado on them, but this one does. You see this one? The reason this one has a tornado is because if I need to whip up a new year, if I need to whip up a 2023 policy term, that's how I do it. So if I don't want a new policy term over here, if I want to use my 2022 policy term, this is extremely interactive with this. Let me show you. Look what happens when I click on 2022 over there. See how it immediately jumps over here to 2022. I'm going to show you again. I'm going to put it on new mail here. I'm going to click on 2022 here. Come on, baby. And it's ignoring me, but it does do it. It jumps to 2022. There we go. See it jumping? Whatever I click here, it jumps to over here. So it's supposed to go under new business. I do need to whip myself up a new business and a line of business and then my proposal. I had to plus out my line of business because there wasn't nowhere else to go. Remember, if it ain't blue, you can't do. I've got to plus it out until I get to that proposal type. I put the effective date of my proposal here. Maybe this was the proposal for my umbrella. And we're going to go ahead and import it. So what I did was I clicked on my 2022 over here to whip to my 2022 here. I plussed out my marketing new business. I plussed out my line of business until I could see my proposal. I put my effective date and I named my document. And now I'm going to go ahead and import. Am I going too fast for anyone? I'm not seeing any chat, so put yourself off mute and just yell if you want to. And now my proposal document's in there. Now I can't look at it because I did not check off Word as one that I automatically previewed. I kind of like it like this, and I'll show you why. But right now, I'd like everyone to go ahead and close their Word document. Close it. Make sure Word is not open. And don't save it. You don't need to save it. It's already saved in ImageRight. Everybody should have Word closed and not saved. If I want to go in and make changes on this proposal, all I do is find my document and say edit. Edit. Click edit. Notice that it will open Word for me all by itself. I don't have to do it. And I'm just going to put umbrella in front of the word proposal. But I could make as many changes as I want. When I'm all done, those of you who are old enough to remember the 90s, we used to have these little hard diskettes in the 90s. And if you wanted to save something, you had to save them on these little hard diskettes. So in your Word doc, you should have this little save diskette up in your Word doc. And you can hit it, and it will save it. If you don't have it, you don't want to hit it, just close out your Word by hitting the X at the top right. It should ask you, are you sure you want to save it back? Yeah, I'm sure, save it back. And it'll close Word again. And now if I click preview on my Word doc, you'll see that that change has been saved into ImageRight. See it? My change is saved. Now, once I'm looking at the preview, I no longer get that open edit button. So this button right here that looks like you're writing a letter, edit, I don't know if you can, it says edit an external application. That means edit it in the application it came over in. So if I click this, same thing as hitting the edit on that other screen. It's just going to open it in Word, and I can make some changes. Save it. Close it. Yes, I'm sure I want to save it. And it goes back to my preview. So this is a native document. Notice that it has the page looking like Word. PDF page looks like Adobe, and the Outlook page looks like Microsoft Outlook envelope, right? Notice that as I click on my different pages that I've saved, it shows me that item in the window, and I can see it. That's why when sometimes people are starting to use ImageRight, they're annoyed by it because they're like, I don't want to see that. Just ignore it when you don't want it, and when you want it, it will be right there for you. Okay, so we've learned to bring in native documents. We've learned to bring in PDFs from our network, and we've learned to drag in emails. Now, I am going to go ahead and bring in a policy. So I'm going to bring in the policy off of her network drive, and I'm going to file the policy in the policy folder it belongs in. So maybe this auto policy. Now, because my folder already exists, if I had this auto policy, my auto policy, and it belongs in this auto policy folder, how would I get this into ImageRight? Where would I drag it to? Anybody?
A policy folder.
Yeah, you're going to bring it into the policy folder. So I'm going to grab it, and I want you guys to bring in a multiple page PDF. Can't find a multiple page PDF quickly, then just do the best you can, and we'll show it to you on Tina's screen. I know this one has 4 pages to it, so I'm going to drag it in. Tina, go ahead and drag this one in and put it in this private passenger auto. And let it go. We are going to do what's called a split document, just to show you what a split document is. Now remember, this is actually the exact same document that I have up here. This one was not split. Technically, you could check this off and it would split it, but we don't want to do that. Because if we check it off the next time we try to bring something in, it will be checked off again. So if you want to split something, all you're going to do is right-click in the right pane and say split it. Again, don't use this check. Do not use that check. Right-click anywhere in the pane and say split it. And you will see that it will split it 1 per page. Our policy. So I split it by right-clicking anywhere and saying split. Now we're going to bring it in. We go to import into. Remember, our policies went under that policy POI form. Then we choose the policy. Your document date. What do you think I would put in the document date? Anybody? Effective date of the policy. Good job. Yes. Good job, Justin. Yes. Effective date of the policy. So I can use my calendar. Pick the effective date of the policy. I'm going to just say policy because it is inside the auto policy, but if it makes you happy, you can say auto policy, up to you. Now, remember I told you there's only 2 times that I change the page description. One is when it's split. This document was split. When it's split, I get rid of the page description. So I just highlighted everything in the page description and hit my backspace key to get rid of my page description. So when my item is split, I get rid of my page description. Then all I did was come down, I clicked on this, pressed down my policy POI, chose policy, put in the effective date of the policy, named my policy, got rid of the page description. That's all I did. And import. Always make sure your create task is not checked and import. This is what a split document looks like. You're going to have 1 page for every page that exists in the policy. So instead of having to flip through, remember up here, I had to flip through. I just clicked on the original one we brought in that was not split. You have to click through. On the ones that are split, you don't have to do that. You just click on the page. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, I don't like that. Why would she want to do that? That's ugly. Let me show you why you might want to do it. I'm just going to show you, this is page marks. We're just viewing these. Everyone's not doing this. This is a watch only, not a hands-on. We're going to find the page that has the deck. And we're going to rename this page. If you want to rename with me, feel free. The way that you rename anything in the ImageRight file tree is with the F2 button. And I'm going to call this my 22 auto deck. And I hit the enter, and that has renamed that page. The reason that I named that page that specifically, I know it's under the auto, it's under 2022, because I'm going to page mark it. The way I page mark it, and this is a view only, so everybody should just be watching, is I'm going to right click it, go to page marks, and mark it as my deck page. I right clicked, went to page marks, marked it as my deck page. Why do you care? Let me show you. If I collapse my whole tree, let's say I close my client and I open my client back up. Notice in my navigation pane that I'm going to have page marks. See how I have one marked page? Notice that my page say it's a 22 auto deck. Now, when I open my client in ImageRight, it always shows the first page in the tree. But if I click on my 22 auto deck, jumps right to that auto deck. So I can find that policy immediately. I probably shouldn't have used the exact same one as the first one in it. Hold on one second. I'm not going to do it. Never mind. Okay, so that page mark is a good way for you to jump to that auto policy. And let's say I'm down here on something. I click on my marked page. It immediately jumps to the policy. So that is page marks. We're also going to look at chronological order. Now, chronological order, see how it's a little bit hard to find stuff in here? I know that there's one page in this folder, there's one page in this folder, there's 3 pages in my marketing new business, there's 6 pages down here in this policy folder. I don't know why it says 6 pages. Oh, because there's another auto policy. Somebody's using Tina LaPointe. All right, I'm going to show you a trick, guys. You see here when I'm on this auto policy that I brought in, notice that it says Tina LaPointe brought this in. And it tells you the date and the time that she brought it in. If I look at this other auto policy that somebody else just brought in, I know, and I'm sorry, Janessa, for calling you out on this, but Janessa is using Tina LaPointe. So she brought a policy into Tina LaPointe, and I can tell that she did it in the date and time. So ImageRight will tell on you like a second grader. It always tells you who did something. If you're like, who did that? Who put that on there? It is going to keep track of that. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is chronological order. It's kind of hard to find stuff because we've got all these folders that we have to plus out to find what we're doing. Chronological order is this button right here up in your toolbar. It looks like a bullet point list. And the purpose of this bullet point list is to strip away all the folders and just show you the document and show you the effective document that's the most effective first. So it looks like we got a bunch of people using Tina LaPointe. Tomorrow when we come in, guys, please, please, please do not all use Tina LaPointe. Use your own client. And if you don't have a client with your name on it, then please use another client. But it is showing me all the documents in document order. See how they're in document order? So if I wanted to go ahead and find a particular document, all I have to do is double click it. It comes up over here. And if I want to see where it is in the file tree, I just take my chronological order off and I see where it's stored in the file tree. So that chronological order is super fast and easy to find documents. I don't have to go through all the tree. And what it's best for personal lines is if you get, let's say that Justin quotes a personal lines workers' comp before he goes to lunch, and then he leaves for lunch, and then the client calls up and immediately let's talk about that workers' comp, and they don't want to wait for Justin to lunch. So you can go to his client that he has the quote on, click the chronological view and you're going to see it up near the top. So super easy to find the document you're looking for. Any questions from anybody on anything that we've covered at all? Okay, we have one more thing to do before we're done for the day. Everybody, please bring up your AOR BOR document that you filed. One that I'm on now. Now, this is an email. So I'd like you to see the difference between a PDF, which does not have email tools at the top, and an email, which does have email tools at the top. Does everybody see they're different? So let's say that I wanted to answer this email, and I wanted the system to automatically file the answer that I'm writing back into ImageRight for me. I can do that all from ImageRight. I've got this email from Miss Lisa. The first thing you need to do, and this is the most important step, you need to see the send email action. It's talking about the email I'm about to send. What do you want to do with the email you're about to send? Do you want to drag it? Do you want to drop it back into the current location? Do you want to drop it somewhere else? Or do you not want to store the email that you're about to send into the file? We want to have it on drop the email back into the current location. That's the way it should have defaulted. We do want to do that. And then we have these email tools over here. We have reply to all or forward. If I have an attachment on here, which I don't, but if I did and I wanted the attachment to go, you guys know that in Outlook, I must forward, right? Or the attachment doesn't go. Same rules apply. So this one doesn't have an attachment, so I can just hit reply. My Outlook reply should come up. If I don't see it, hover on your Outlook. It may be down here behind it. And you can just click on it. Now, I don't want to send everything to Lisa. I know she doesn't want to get a gazillion emails. So I'm going to send it to Tina. Oh, you guys don't, you're sending yours to Tina. Tina doesn't want to get all your emails. Justin, you send it to Justin. Donna, you send it to Donna. Jenna, you send it to Jenna, okay? And then change the subject to say second request. And then write something in the body like, please send the stuff I asked you for. Okay? So just type up a little note. Once I have that note typed up, again, send it to yourself. Tina and Lisa doesn't want to get all your emails. Change your subject, put a little body in there and hit send. Watch what happens to that email as soon as ImageRight sees that it's sent. ImageRight will then file it immediately back into the document. See how it renamed the page with the subject that you typed on the page? And notice that it has the body. It's all saved in there, right? Now, does anybody remember? Tough question. I only said this once. It's a really hard question. Does anybody remember what button I said would rename anything in your file tree? Anybody remember that? Oh, super close, super close. Some good guesses. Bingo. Superstar for Jenna B. She did get it. It is F2. Super close for a couple other people, but F2. And we can rename this whatever we want. Second request for stuff, right? And you can see how I can name this whatever I want. And I've now renamed my page. So the F2, and let's say that I wanted to rename the original page. So this original page was about stuff, right? I can rename my pages with that F2. So now I've got my BOR, I've got my page 2, I've got my second request. Actually, it should have been the umbrella. And then this was second request for BOR. Whatever. You guys get the gist, right? So using these email tools will allow me to both send the email from inside ImageRight and automatically save it back to ImageRight. So I've saved myself some time. Okay, looks like I did have a question from Janessa about how to make it blue. I think you're talking about the import into screen where you click on the blue document type and make it blue. I think that's what you were talking about. We're going to do one more thing because we got a couple more minutes. Let's go back to your fee agreement. I'm going to show you annotations. Annotations is this toolbar up at the top. These are things that you can do. Some of the things that you may want to do in real life are highlight something to bring it to your client's attention. I'm going to demonstrate using the highlighter. The highlighter tool is about 5 from the left. This is a little bit hard for people to get onto until they get used to it. Let's say that I wanted to highlight how much property damage you had. I can come up here, I can grab, and we're just going to all watch, and then we can do in a minute. I'm going to grab the highlighter. I'm going to click at the top of where I want to highlight and pull down while I hold my mouse. And when I have everything highlighted, see if while I'm holding my mouse, I can change where it's highlighting. When I'm all done getting it highlighted, I let it go. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I'm going to let Tina and everybody else try that. Grab your highlighter and highlight something on your page. See how that goes for you. Great job, Tina. You're doing a really nice work.
Not showing as yellow.
I think you're holding it once you click it once and let it go. Click it once and let it go. Then you move your mouse down to where you want to highlight, and then you highlight, press and drag. Whoops.
Gotcha.
I'm going to delete this. Go ahead and give it another shot. Click it once, and then come down and hold and drag. There you go. Let it go. Okay. If you do want to delete it, you can adjust it however she wants. If you do want to delete it, you can either right-click and delete or hit the delete button on your keyboard to get rid of it. Either way, it will save as soon as you hit the save button or anything else in the file tray. So if I go ahead and I highlight something, I hit, whoops, I hit anywhere else in the file tree, it will automatically save. Come on. Okay, so we're out of time for right now. I did show you the highlights. I want to show you a Zoom real quick because Tina's been actually doing it. Sometimes when you get a document, it's a little bit hard to read. You can actually just draw a box around what you're having trouble reading, and it will jump in real big. Double click it, it goes back. Everybody give that a shot. Just draw a box around anything on a PDF that's hard to read and watch it zoom. Double click, it'll go back. Okay. All right, so that's it for today. Any questions at all on anything that we talked about? All right, you guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Elaine.
Bye, guys.
Have a great